Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division with the tournament win for the qualifying round here in Golf Clash the game and the Desert Dunes tournament. Before we start, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification. I do want to start by apologizing for my voice. I have catched a terrible cold, which makes this very difficult to talk as I do cough a lot, and that's why you will see a lot of cut out segments here in this video. Please have that in mind. And when it comes to the info box on the right hand side, that will display the club distance adjustment, the elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I do suggest you to play with. If you have any questions about that, make sure that you comment in the comment section below, but also most importantly, send an email to support@golfclashtommy.com and we will happily help you out. To get the best guides on the market for Master Division or any other division in the tournament, you go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link is directly in the description down below. Let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we shall start at the +1 yard mark, just for when it turns over from +0 to +1. Half of the blue ring inside the rough with Apocalypse 7 and Apocalypse level 8. 6.2 bars of topspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right. I do feel that I do have a little bit too much topspin there, so good that we did get back down again in the end. Adjustment maximum distance +10, power 3 ball settings. Those of you playing with APOC 5 and 6s, play with the red ring to the right by the rough to the right. Now, half of the ball to the right inside the wall to the right, and then we try to hit perfect. I would say that if you do play in a wind 8 miles per hour or more, go up to around 6.4 to 6.5 bars of topspin to make sure that we do get over the 350 mark, because otherwise we will most likely go in between clubs for the second shot. Because the second shot we're gonna play an aggressive line, and the reason we're gonna play an aggressive line is because this shot is money. Otherwise I would not do it. Otherwise I would bounce on the fairway, just take it a very simple way. 5 bars of topspin, 1 bar side spin to the right. Most importantly is that you're looking to have the ball guideline to go through approximately 2 green squares of the pin, and that is going to be very important, because if you don't, you will fall short, most likely short in line. So make sure that the ball guideline is going through the whole 2 green squares, and that could be that you sometimes would need to have 5.1, 5.2 bars of topspin instead. Adjustment here now, and I'm gonna give you one reference for this shot. It's like if you do get to 354 yards, you shall be playing 83% slider, 10% elevation is what I do have noted down. And obviously then for the long iron it's 2% per every yard, and then you're gonna be somewhat spot on that one. It is an aggressive shot, but again, perfect and a minor great right and a great left has been okay. A bad great right will most likely miss the rough, so be prepared for that. So if you feel uncomfortable with that type of shot and that you might hit a lot of great rights, maybe take the safe route and just bounce it on the fairway up towards the pin and have a less chance for an eagle, but you will not danger losing the birdie if you would be if you have a problem hitting a bad great right, which I hope you don't, because this is a good chance. For hole number 2, we're gonna play a rough bump as option number 1, and I will show you another shot as well for those of you that do not want to take the risk with the rough bump. 2.8 bars of backspin, 0.9 bars of side spin to the left. Now I'm looking to have the bullseye centered into the rough, top of the white ring just a smidge from the fringe, ball guideline pointing just right off the pin. Now for the shot here, we're gonna play with a heavy 1159. You can see there on my pull angle that it is not even going to the middle, it's very much left there off the center. Maximum distance, no elevation, power 0 ball numbers, perfect ball. And you will notice that we will clip the right side of the rough here and then roll towards the pin for a beautiful hole-in-one. So once again, the rough bump is one option. We do have another one which we're gonna take a look at now, and The second option, it's not having that high rate of drops as the rough bump, but it will give you at least a very safe way to have a birdie with a decent chance for a drop. For option number 2, you will see that we are going to play on the pad on the left here. 5.5 bar backspin, a 2.5 bar side spin to the right. And now we will be looking at finding the red ring to the left by the rough line, with the second bounce at the top of the fringe, with the ball guideline pointing short of hole but pointing towards the hole is the plan. Adjustment is going to be medium distance with a 10% over adjustment, power 1 ball numbers. So medium distance plus 10, power 1 ball numbers is adjusted. And then we're gonna take the shot. Perfect ball. And we'll see the ball bounce extremely nicely on the fairway. And it comes in a bit hot, but this ball is gonna come in a bit hot and gonna be around the cup every single time. And if you're lucky, you're gonna get that one to drop. So 2 options for hole number 2. 1 aggressive, which is recommended if you feel comfortable with your perfect. Otherwise, play option number 2. Hole number 3, I'm gonna show you 2 options, and I'm thankful for my friends to lend recordings here for me to be able to provide both options here. I start at max distance, half of the white ring inside the rough to the right, 3 bars of side spin to the right. I'm using 5.5 bar top spin. Once I've adjusted max plus 10, I will be pushing up. In this case, we're gonna go 3.5 rings. When it comes to playing with APOC 5 or APOC 6, I would recommend in that case to go and push up approximately 2.8 rings. It's not that super duper important, but it's gonna be around 2.8 rings in my opinion. The plan is to get this ball to 383, or like somewhere around that, obviously. Now, second shot is a recording lended from a friend of mine. And we're gonna play this one with the sniper, and we're gonna play from 383. We're gonna play 36% slider, minus 10% elevation. But most importantly, we need to catch the funnel, and that we will do by playing 3 bars of left spin and 2 bars of top spin. And now it's time to just look for the funnel in the best way that we can. So you can see here that that our opponent, or like wiggle left and right here a little bit to be into the funnel, ball guideline just slightly to the right of the pin, and then it's time to take the shot, or like to adjust before taking the shot. The thing that our opponent here is doing is to go with a little bit of curl to the left. I would like to remove that to this type of shot. I have nothing against left curl, but I do think that if we just start with the ball guideline just slightly more to the left, instead, we could prevent ourselves from having to go with curl, as I do believe that curl would make us miss to the left more than what it otherwise would do. So this is option number 1 for those of you that do want to play with a sniper, but I know a lot of you have noticed that we do have tailwind, and yes, there is a possibility to get close to green or to the green, and we're gonna take a look at another recording that's going to display that. And obviously, as always, you decide which way you wanna play. Another video from a friend of mine that we're gonna take a look at, because I have not played this shot yet myself with any good success, and that is something that I'm gonna get into a little bit later here. 7.5 bar top spin, 2 bars side spin to the left. Now we're gonna play a fixed position, which is the bullseye just between the dark and the bright rough, with somewhat 19 miles per hour wind. 1 ball of curl to the right, and max overpower, and then a power slice to the right. Playing with a wind 0 power 5 ball here is a must, and I would say that this type of shot is gonna have a decent success rate with wind above 18 miles per hour. Having wind below 18 miles per hour, then it comes into being more and more towards more lottery aspect, and obviously this is a big part of lottery as well, as this ball is getting very close to getting it in for a condor. And sure, this would have been ultimate, having a tap in putt for an albatross, but the thing that we do need to have in mind here is that And when we do play these type of shots, we can have a bunch of different results. Sure, lower wind has had the unfortunate aspect of either getting stuck into the sand or getting stuck into the rough short and then having to just play down towards the green. Best case scenario, you are on the green, and somewhat okay scenario is that you are on the rough, in the rough at the top, where we usually use to do the rough bump funnel, and then you have a short rough iron to still play into the funnel by the green. So it's up to you really what you do want to do, but I cannot sit here and recommend this type of shot with low wind. Then I would rather go with the layup option, as I do feel that's a good option. But if you again have a high wind, I would somewhat look towards this option to be option number one. But again, it's up to you to decide. There is no adjustment to list because we're gonna have a fixed position for the drive. The second shot is gonna be somewhat all over the place, and then you're gonna have to use your skill to determine that adjustment for from that position. For hole number 4, we're gonna play with 2 bars of side spin, 4.2 bars of top spin. We're looking for the top of the red ring by the rough line with the ball guideline going through the hole. Once that is done, we shall adjust, and I do adjust medium distance with a 25% over adjustment. Power 1 ball settings. I'm also going towards the flicker 1159 in pull angle. The reason I do play with a power 2 ball is to make sure that regardless of what wind I'm gonna have, I'm not gonna go in between clubs. Having a high wind, but also having a bad wind angle is going to get yourself in between clubs with a power 1 ball, and you're gonna have to go with overpower. This shot comes in right at pin. Have in mind that the wind angle changes. Yes, we do not have the same wind direction, exactly the same wind direction all the time, so you need to spot that and make sure to make additional tweaks if you have a different wind angle than showed here on the video. But this is a good chance for a drop. Hole number 5, we're gonna go for green, or at least getting close to it. Here, we rather want to go short than we do want to go long. And here I'm using 2 bars of side spin to the left, 6.5 bar of top spin. The plan here is, once again, to get this one short of pin. I'm okay with, obviously, to be on the green, but rolling over the green, that's gonna mean that you're gonna be in the rough, 100%. So you add the spin. Ball guideline point is slightly to the left of the fairway, and then you adjust max plus 10. Instead of pushing up to max, you shall use max over power from where you are, which means that you're going to have a slow needle, and it's going to be much easier to hit perfect. And you can see here that the ball comes in there, we're not getting any glitch roll, and it stops nicely by the green. And what I have set as value here for myself when playing here with a Berserker, which is a free-to-play ball, which is nice to do that once in a while in Master, is that 13.6 to 14 miles per hour plays 7 bars of topspin, having 15.8 to 16.1 miles per hour play 5.8 bars of topspin. The thing, once again, that I want to prevent myself from doing is to go too far. You can obviously add a little bit more topspin, push the drive a little bit harder, but again, be careful that you don't go too far, because playing from the rough is miles harder than playing with a wedge in straight tailwind. Hole number 6 does play difficult, and so the thing that we're gonna do is that we're gonna play with a power 0 ball to find maximum distance. And then we shall add to change with a Centurion ball. Ball guidelines straight down the fairway. The more important part here is that it is in between the sand to the right and the rough on the left. And that is the important part to look at. Adjust max plus 10, power 3 numbers, obviously. And then we're gonna play normal shot. If you do play APOC 7 or APOC 8, don't go any overpower, even though you are just into overpower. Very important to have in mind. One thing that I could maybe add though with overpower is if you do have the highest type of wind, which is like 10.2 to 10.4 with a Centurion, add a little bit of overpower just in case, you know. We are looking to get the ball to get to be at least 365 yards. If you play with APOC 5 or APOC 6, you need to add overpower. APOC 5, I would say like 4 rings overpower. APOC 6, 2 rings of overpower would be fine. Second shot, we play with 7.5 bar top spin, 2.5 bar side spin to the right, to the left. And we're just looking to roll the ball down the fairway. I'm not looking for an albatross here whatsoever. I just want this ball to get somewhat close to the green area or on the green to just get myself the eagle. I don't think it's worth pushing when it comes to the albatross here, even though I get it if you want to, but again, hitting a bad great left here with going with overpowers or aiming very close to the rough might get yourself to get stuck in the rough, and then, you know, what's the point really? So here I play for the eagle, I get the ball down there, have a simple wedge for a pin. Max plus 25 is what I'm playing. I play with the Cataclysm to give myself the power and the top spin. Again, tough wind on hole 6, and here we just want and need to survive. For hole number 7, you will also see 2 options, one from the left and one from the right. And here I'm gonna play with the red ring just slightly falling down into the bunker at the bottom, with the yellow ring to the right by the sand trap line. Half a bar of side spin to the left, and then I will apply medium distance with no elevation, power 2 ball settings. So it's time to adjust finally, and then we're gonna take our shot. Have in mind that the ball guideline is not showing that it's pointing towards the hole, but please just disregard that. It shouldn't show towards the hole with the spin setup there. Perfect ball, and we see the ball bounce nicely into the rough here. And we roll here towards the pin for a lovely hole-in-one. The problem I've had with the route on the left is that with the different wind angles that we do have, it has been giving me a hard time to get this one really dialed in. And that's why we do have an option from the right as well. And obviously you choose whatever route you feel comfortable with playing. From the right side, it's option number 2. And here I start with max backspin with the quarterback and 1.7 bars of side spin to the left. Half of the red ring inside the rough to the left with the ball guideline pointing short, but also a little bit to the left of the cup. Once that is done, we will apply medium distance plus 20. And the thing that I'm trying to do here is to play with 12 in pull angle. You can see here that I'm having a little bit of a flicker 1159, which is a mistake. Once that is done, we shall apply a little bit of underpower, not much, just so the top of the ball is touching the upper arrows. Perfect ball. And the ball bounces nicely on the fairway. I think this one's gonna go in, but it takes a 360 around the cup. Unfortunately, this shot is gonna come in a little bit too hot sometimes, but it's good that we do have the pin. So if you don't feel comfortable with the left side, then you can play right side, and obviously vice versa. Medium distance plus 20, power 1 ball settings. Hole number 8, we're gonna play a no movement drive. Max top spin, 2 bars of side spin to the left, and we play with a Bubba ball, which has power 5, side spin 2, wind 3. That is the same as the new luminary ball that you can win in Master nowadays. If you do not have the possibility to play with a ball like this, I would recommend you to play with a wind 2 ball instead, side spin 2, which could be, in that case, what will that be? A rose ball, sterling ball, I think it's called, or something like that. So we do adjust max plus 10 for the drive, and then we do not push up. The only time we shall push up is if we play with an APOC 6 or an APOC 5. 419 yards. Now you will see a shot from another account, so it's not going to show you the same adjustment that would be based on a 419 yard drive. I just want to say that, so you just rely on the numbers that I do play. So to give you a reference, if you come to 419 yards, you should be playing 70% slider. Okay, so if you do then have a longer drive, you shall then deduct 2% for every yard with the Falcon level 7 and level 8. Falcon level 7 plays slightly different than Falcon level 8, so 70% slider from 419 is for Falcon level 8. Falcon level 7 in that case should be played 74% slider. Now for the adjustment for the second shot, I go without spin completely, and I'm having the ball guideline just to the hole. Very important. So again, we do play with slider, we do play with 10% elevation, and we play with no spin. If you do play with a Thorn level 9, you play the Thorn level 9 the same as Falcon level 8, which is 70% slider for 419 yards. And again, if you come to another yardage, you need to do that job yourself. So, in the end, a super good chance on hole number 8, which hasn't missed with a perfect so far. Hole number 9, 4.8 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right, and we're gonna stretch out to max, look for the ball guideline to go into the middle of the rough patch that is further up. If you didn't follow that, please rewind and check it again. Adjust, max plus 10. Once that is done, we push up to max. With a POC 7 and a POC 8, remove half a ball to a ball in curl to the right. With APOC 5 or APOC 6, I would recommend to go with full curl with those type of clubs. The ball gets down there and we hit a great left, which is okay because we're not really gonna care about the yardage here for the second shot. 4-5-4, and now we're gonna start by going with our target up to the beginning of the fringe. Plus 6, that is yardage that we're looking for. 3 bars of side spin to the right. I'm using 3.8 bars of top spin. Half of the blue ring outside on the fairway ball guideline, pointing towards the hole but short of the hole. And when it comes to plus 6 yard mark, we're gonna play that one medium distance with a 30% elevation, so 50% slider, and trying to have as a straight pull angle possible here. So 1 pull to get 10 rings, and then I pull the rest, and then it's time to take our shot. If you do not, if you do go too slow here, the reference of going up to the fringe might not be something for you. But so you need to be quick with that, otherwise there is a big risk that you will find yourself very close to the wire. It might time out if you're not careful enough. But to get this shot to be as accurate as possible, then this is the way that we do need to go, in my opinion. And it is money, because this one has dropped with perfect. When it comes to the send it options I've seen so many different options, and what the send it option has in common is that you do not get to a similar type of spot at any point. You will either be on the fairway or rough or sand. And when it is the qualifying round, I do want to first and foremost save on my better balls. I think that's important, but also that we can play up and play with a long iron for a nice rough bump drop here. I do think that it is, in my book at least, a better chance for an albatross in the long run here on hole number 9. But that's once again up to you to decide. But here I'm only going to display a layup option with the B52. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Master Division with the tournament win for the qualifying round in the Desert Dunes tournament. Video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure that you get the best master guides on the market or any other division, if you're playing any other division, on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link directly in the description down below. Thank you once again for watching, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.